What's up, everybody? Welcome to Movie Monday. I'm, of course, Grigor, bringing you another episode of movie recommendations on Netflix. This week, I'm going to recommend for you guys all food-themed documentaries and movies. There's not many I'm going to recommend. There hasn't been that many I've seen, so if there's any recommendations you guys have, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and make sure to click that subscribe button too. If you guys have seen these, let me know what you guys think, if you guys agree with me or not. But without further ado, let's get started with Ugly Delicious. Now, the Ugly Delicious, there's no the, it's just Ugly Delicious. Each episode is a different kind of food that they're projecting and it's based on. So you don't have to, it doesn't follow up on the one before, so it's not like a series like that. There's an episode on pizza, there's an episode on tacos, there's an episode on fried chicken, and the history behind that food, and how each country of the world, how they kind of make it. For example, like pizza, the documentary takes you all the way to Italy, where they show you the margherita pizza and how strict and traditional they are as far as not changing any ingredients on it. They don't do anything to the pizza. You're gonna see that. But then at the same time, it takes you to Japan, where you see the sushi pizza. The sushi pizza, they really the chefs that make that tell you the complete opposite. They tell you it's okay to change the ingredients, it's okay to experiment, and don't keep doing the same thing over and over again, because you got to be creative as a chef. Very delicious looking. The name of the movie documentary, Ugly Delicious, doesn't do it justice. It's not ugly. Watch it, you'll love it. Strongly recommend watching that. Speaking of culture, the next docuseries I want to mention is Chef's Table. This is a very popular food documentary series on Netflix. You may have seen it pop up here and there on your Netflix. And there's so many seasons of this one. Netflix has a lot of Chef's Table series. They even have a Chef's Table France. They have a specific season on Chef's Table that's strictly desserts. Every episode's about desserts. So if you want to check something out of the documentary, I recommend watching the dessert season if you're into sweets at all. But there's a lot of subtitles in it because, again, each episode takes you to a different part of the world where there's French-speaking people, Italian-speaking people, Spanish-speaking chefs. Very delicious looking, very new to us who are just used to the food here. Maybe it might not be new to you, but you get a little sense of their history of the chefs and how they run their kitchen. It's very interesting. It's very, what do I want to say? It's variations of different kinds of foods. It's really good. I highly recommend it. There's one episode that's better than the other, but again, give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. Gordon Ramsay. If you guys like Gordon Ramsay, I love that guy. The Hell's Kitchen episodes are on Netflix, but there's a movie on Netflix that some of you may have heard. It's called Burnt, starring Bradley Cooper. He is fantastic in that. And the reason I mention that movie is because Gordon Ramsay had a part in the movie. I think he was producer or co-producer of it. And Bradley Cooper's character is very much like Gordon Ramsay's character. Very loudmouth, very strict with his sous chef, played by Naomi Watts. The cast is amazing. The food looks so good. It looks very real. And for those of you who don't know, Bradley Cooper did learn how to cook at a very early age. His grandmother started teaching him, so he is a very skilled chef that it looks very believable. They they did a good job casting Bradley in this. He's fantastic in it. And the premise of the movie is he's a world-renowned chef that pretty much crumbled. His life crumbled. He's a former sex addict. He's a former drug addict that pretty much lost it all, And now he's cleaned up. He's trying to put his life back together, and he wants to open up a restaurant to have his 3-star Michelin. Now, some of you may not know what that is, the Michelin. It's the highest honor you can have as a head chef. Now, it sounds like 3 stars, it's not much, but you need to understand, just having 1-star Michelin on your restaurant, you're considered amazing. You're very well known. You're very well respected. To have stars as your restaurant, it's impeccable. It's a perfect. Everything's perfect. You won't go in there and find anything wrong with the food. You won't find anything wrong with the setup. Everything's pristine and it's literally perfect. So it is very difficult to get the 3 stars, and you kind of see in the movie, again, it is a movie, it's not a documentary, you see kind of like how a 3-star Michelin restaurant is run. Very strict, very on top of everything. You got to be very aggressive with it. And I don't want to say he gets 3 stars or not, but you do see what the lengths he goes through just to try to get the 3-star Michelin. That's a movie. Now, something very similar to that I'm going to bring up now is my favorite food documentary on Netflix. It's called For Grace. I tell everybody about this documentary. It's For Grace. It's spelled F-O-R. It's about this man in Chicago who really gets burnt out of working for another chef and doesn't like how it's run. So he decides to open up his own restaurant. He saved some money. He wants to open up his own restaurant and go for the 3-star. Now, in this documentary, you really see what it takes to open up a 3-star Michelin restaurant. Again, I'm not saying he does it, but you're going to see the lengths this man makes to all the funding he has to put together, all the time he puts in it, all the stress that goes with it. And what's beautiful about this story is the head chef that's trying to open this. You look at his past. He's had a very troubled upbringing. He's been surrounded by a lot of pain, surrounded by a lot of loss and tragedy in his personal life. I don't want to give anything away. I want you to see it for yourself. But you really see how at a young age he decided by himself, this is the road. If I take this road, I'm going to go down the same path as my family is going through, or I'm going to go and pick this new career choice, which was cooking, and better myself and prove to myself that I can get away from this lifestyle. It is so emotional. Wait until you see it. You won't regret it. It's one of the best documentaries out there, let alone food documentary. It's very good. The man's a good man, good-hearted guy, and once again, you see relationships crumble in this lifestyle of the kitchen. How a high-end chef goes, the sacrifices he makes, not only the sacrifices he makes, but he expects his team to make. If you want a great restaurant, especially if you're trying to go for a 3-star Michelin, you see all the sacrifices that you have to make, and you have to give up relationships along the way. Go watch it. It's called For Grace. You won't regret it. You'll love it, and let me know what you guys think of that. There's one honorable mention I wanted to make that's not on Netflix. It used to be. Hopefully they'll bring it back because I kind of want to see it again. I did a little bit of research on it. I think it's on Amazon Prime or Google Play or both. It's called Chef. Chef is written and directed by Jon Favreau. If that name sounds familiar but you don't know who that is, you'll definitely recognize his face. He's been in many movies with Vince Vaughn. He's his buddy. He grew up with him, and he's also the director of Iron Man. So, as director of Iron Man, he has Robert Downey Jr. in this movie, and Scarlett Johansson. Dustin Hoffman's in this movie, and another cooking movie. It's very wholesome, very family-oriented, so you can watch this with the family. Here's a man who's a head chef for Dustin Hoffman's restaurant, and pretty much gets tired of making the same stuff over and over again, day in and day out. So he quits, and his wife suggests he open up a food truck business. Opposed at first, but his wife convinces him, his ex-wife, played by Sofia Vergara, to go to Miami and begin this journey of making this a reality, and it's going to be good for him. She's a good motivator for him, and he has this little boy who wants to tag along. It's such a good movie. It's very family oriented, like I said. his son tags along with him and just tries to bond with him. This movie was so good, I must say, that after I watched it, I planned a trip to Miami for the first time. I wanted to go to Miami and check out their culture and their food because it makes you so hungry for it when you watch this. That's how well it's made. Jon Favreau really did his research and really worked at becoming a believable chef in the movie. He actually did study cooking, and he actually went on Conan O'Brien or one of the talk shows and actually cooked for them, which was pretty cool. Strongly recommend getting your hands on that movie. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you guys this week. Make sure to leave comments below. Any recommendations you guys might have, go ahead and leave them down below, and make sure you click that subscribe button as well. All right? Take care. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys.